Old story, if you chuck one out, you got to get one that you're not selecting yourself chucked in. Sometimes it's better to know the beast that you're going to come up against than an unknown one. You're asking the referee if it's a wise sheep or not. I said, really, I don't know whether he's qualified, that fella. He was full of yap last night. Right, hasn't it cleaned its teeth this morning? It'll be fine. Prizes sponsored by Waimate Shearing and Wairua Downs and Lister. Yes, no, we're on the board. That's what I like to see. Slight bit of mechanical failure on stand number. If in doubt, give it a clout. Happy enough. Okay, we're good to go. No. Yes, we are. Thank you. Timekeeper's right. Judges, competitors, go. Well, that was a bit long-winded, but anyway, we got there in the end. We are now in the first heat of the semi-final of the open class shearers. Those shearers for those tallies that exceeds 305 in an 8-hour day and 340 in a 9-hour. 6 woolies to get the coats off. We have Gavin Much from Dannyburg on the front stand. A visitor from Australia, Paul Robinson on 2. Hugh Lacey from Rangiora on stand number 3. Chris Vickers from Palmerston on number 4. On the 5 stand from Marlborough, Duncan Higgins. And Parada Abraham from Masterton. Down on the 6. So according to some of these shearers, a couple of the sheep had a rough night's sleep last night and they didn't get time to clean their teeth, but 3:30 this morning when they were put on the truck. But anyway, they all look pretty happy at the moment as they're tearing the fluff off these fellas. A male sheep with the wheels taken out. So let's see how these shearers handle them. Double the amount of sheep they saw in the elimination round. The pace coming again from Pirata Abrahams. The fast Masterton shearer. He'll be back in action tonight at the speed shear, no doubt, along with most of these shearers. If you happen to get the program and just look through what is happening throughout the couple of days that we're working here, we've got this evening we have the fleece throwing competition, junior, intermediate, clean shear, senior and open. Some big money up for grabs. Later on in this afternoon will be the wool handling. Ooh, we've got a gear change down on the 6. Things a little bit gone off in the comb and cutter department on the Hampies number 1. In goes Hugh Lacey. Sheep number 2. Number 2 coming out for Duncan Higgins. Gavin Much is starting to quicken the pace here on the front. McIntyre's 3 or 4 shots behind him. They're all pretty close together. Pirata Abraham steps up the neck. A long way to go for him. He's Now down to one handpiece, supposedly. Maybe he might have brought a colour along. Maybe he dropped the tooth, who knows? All will be revealed. Top qualifier into this event was Nathan Stratford with a 35.9. And then put another 17 points on it before we got to the final, or the last person to enter this semi-final. But it's a new game. The heats are gone. This is a semi-final. More pressure, more speed. Judging still is strict. As they watch closely for any second cuts to the wool fibre. The shearer required to remove that length of fleece with one shot of the comb in the cutter. Abrahams got back on the pace again after a bit of a slow start to that second sheep. Mutts under the shoulder. Chris Vickers. He's been around the shearing circuit for a little while now. Puts another one down between the kneecaps. Left hand working hard for Hugh de Lacy. Paul Robinson, the Australia, coming over the shoulder on the last side. Gavin Mutt steps into the pen on the front. Third sheep out for Gavin. Couple of shots left for Duncan Higgins, and he's going to be in for three. But as Abraham steps up the neck, making it look easy at the moment. Experienced competitors line up here in this 18 in the semi-final. Not a lot of shearing going on around the country at the moment, mainly just down here in the fine wool stuff. Getting them shorn before the lambs are born in the high country. A little bit of snow in the last few days has probably slowed things up a little bit. Big shots coming up the undermine for the Rangarori lad. Over the top on the last side for Chris Vickers as Pirata Abraham stretches into the pen. Into the long blow now for Duncan Higgins from Marlborough. Gavin Much just coming out of the long blow. Paul Robertson steps up the neck. De Lacy into the long blow. Pirata Abraham's got the belly off. Round the back of the head and down into the first shoulder. He's about to swing. Up the neck and around the back of the head, the paceman, Pirata Abrahams. Gavin Much chasing hard on his heels. Chris Vickers down the belly. He's got sheep number 3 on the board. Sheep number 4, sorry. In they go for 4 on stand number 3. De Lacy. Paul Robinson still working away on that last side. He's almost a sheep behind the pace. That could hurt. That's 6 or 7 points in time. Abraham out the last leg. Got a sheep around the Australian, the tail end of the field. Good, talking about the quality though. Just keep the quality right. Time will look after itself. Chris Vickers around the back of the head. Gavin Much steps forward now around the back of the head. He starts to swing into that first off shoulder. The most difficult part of the sheep he's shearing right about now. Where you need to use your elbows, you just haven't got quite enough extremities sometimes. Now that sheep just behaved itself and laid there for him. But he would have had his feet in the right position so that sheep could just sit there in a bit of a cradle. Abraham steps up the neck. Sheep number 5. Stand 6. Chris Vickers coming over the shoulder on the last side. He'll be starting to warm up under that fleecy jacket he's got on. Much out the last leg. Abraham's the pace man into the long blow. Vickers out the last leg. DeLacy out the last leg as well. Marlborough, Higgins is wrong right there on the 5. Sheep number 5 on the board now. 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. One left in the box for Pirata Abraham. As the wool handlers are having to start to work a little bit quicker here. The pace has picked up. A bigger number of sheep coming out every heat. They were right once we got them off the smoko table. Out the last leg for the Australian is Pirata Abrahams. Pulls out the last. Chris Vickers steps up the neck. He's still got one in the pen. Likewise is his other compatriots either side of him. Abraham stretches the left leg right back. Lets that sheep lay towards the floor. Moves it forward now as he goes up the big shots up the undermine. Off with the top knot. The eye clips. The wool handlers have got all that sorted. This light, fluffy merino wool is looking a treat here as the shearers are removing it with great expertise. Under the shoulder and down out to the flank. These guys are vying for a place to shear 10 of these things in the final. That's going to hurt. Abraham over the last shoulder. Down the hole for Hugh DeLacy. In for the last. Vickers has got the last on. Gavin Much. Work it away. Still got one in the pen. But it's going to be Pirata Abrahams. Hits the button. Big cheer from the speedster from Masterton. All those next heats, they'll be saying, crikey, how did he get it off so quick? Way in front of everybody else. They've got a bit of an advantage. They've seen how he done it. Gavin Much puts a new cutter on. Said, must have struck a little bit of dust in one or two of those sheep. Comb's still going all right. Just put a new cutter on. Get it done. Out comes number 6 for Higgins. Next heat up will be O'Neill, Moore, Rangier, Mason, Smith, Paiwai. Heat 3, Dennison, Fagan, White, Tahuia, Samuels and Stratford. So the sixth and final sheep not too far away from coming out of the pen for our Australian shearer up here, Paul Robinson. He's not in any rush, he's just strolling in. He'll have the quality there, I'm sure, when all the points are counted. One over the tail, one over the sock, and out the portal. Hugh de Lacy, sheep number 6. Higgins from the top of the South Island, the Marlborough man. Into the long blow he goes. Gavin Much is in the long blow. These sheep sort of dictate the pace so they can get the wool off them. You don't get them sitting right, the skin bubbles up in front of the comb. So that left hand has got to do a lot of work, stretching and shifting. Back socks to come off. Much under the shoulder, down out to the flank there for Higgins as well. Pretty much blow for blow, these two shearers, as Paul Robinson comes over the between the ears and down into that first off shoulder. Well shorn. Is it good enough to get through to the next one? Only the judges and the computer team will know. Rolling it onto the last side, the money side of the sheep. He's obviously come here to shear the merinos. There's thousands of them, hundreds of thousands of them in Australia. His gear looks to be going reasonably sweetly. He's coming under the shoulder and down now to the flank here. Just a wee bit of a kick and a wriggle from the last one. Eases the head forward. Now those horns will be starting to rub on his legs a little bit. Over the hock, over the sock. Good stuff, Paul Robinson, well done. 6 more willing contestants. And the sheep are thinking, 6 more victims we can destroy. John, Angus, Jake, Martini, Grant, and Ringaka. So for those that have just arrived and haven't got a program, we are running the elimination round 2, the semi-final of the Open at the moment. This is sponsored by Waimate, by the Waimate Shearing and Wairua Downs and Lister. This is heat number 2. We have 1 more heat to come, and then we'll be on with the senior final, which I need a draw. and then will be followed closely by the Open final in this Merino event. Oh, he's trying to pull the wool over your eyes, Rabbit. I'd get out of there. You know, look, he's been at this game far too long. Okay, Shearers on the board. We only brought so many sheep in here tonight, so we've got to get the wool off all of them. Righto, we're ready to go, are we? So it was about $4,500 up for grabs in this one. I suppose they're trying to be a little bit careful. Want to make that final cut. I don't like it when the big fella stands in the middle there with his hands on his hips. That means we're going to waste another couple of moments. That's the word I wanted to hear. No, I'm not going there. That's a bit of a disease. The sheep will look a lot better when you get the wool off it, fellas. Angus is fine. He doesn't need it. He says, come on, let's go. Thank you. Timekeeper's right. Judges, competitors, go. So this is heat number 2. Quite a bit of pace from our fast man in the previous heat. Abrahams. Let's see who's going to take the mantle in this one. Grant Smith being very kind to the wool handlers and flicks the belly out over the side. Up on the front stand from Alexandria we have John O'Neill. From Seddon, Angus Moore. Jake Rangiuria from Matara on the 5, on the 3, on the 4 we have Martini Mason from Masterton. Grant Smith from Rakaya on stand number 5. And Ringakaha Paiwai down on the 6 from Gore. There was snow in the main street of Gore the other day. It was pretty much snow all over the place. Great stuff to play in, but not much fun to work in. As we got the pace from Grant Smith at the moment, dropping into that first off shoulder. Closely followed by Jake on stand number 3. O'Neill up on the front stand into the first off shoulder as well. Angus Moore, they can sense the chance. They know what the time they've got to do. I have no idea what the clock says when Abraham finished his first heat. These fellas will have it mentally. We need to get these done in about 1 minute 40. That's if the sheep's going to allow them. Under the shoulder comes Smith. Top of the shoulder for Angus Moore. Jake Ringy coming over the side now. Look at that beautiful stroke down that last side. Trying to fill the comb up as much as he dares without making a ridge. There goes Smith. The evergreen competitor. So here we go. Sheep number 2. Angus Moore says, don't count me out in the speed stakes. I can shear these wrinkly things. O'Neill from Alexandra. Down the belly, swoops it out the back for the wool handler. Round the crutch he goes. Round the crutch he goes. He's still going round the crutch. No, he's got it this time. A little bit more fluff amongst some of these big fellas. They're growing wool out their nostrils. Up the neck now, the man from Matara, Jake. Making it look easy as he goes down the side of the face. He's keeping a close watch on Grant Smith, who's on the 5. Angus Moore just another couple of blows back. Highway down on the far end. Round the back of the head and towards the first off shoulder now. But Smith's still rocking along. Sheep number 2. They've got 6 of the woolies. O'Neill starting to apply a bit of pressure. The long blow's done and he turns onto the last side, the money side of the sheep. Still with 4 in the pen though. Out the last leg for Smith. Highway says, I'm coming at you from the 6. Over the shoulder and down and out to the flank he comes. Matara Marauder coming under the shoulder and down out to the flank on the 3. Working out. Eyes following that blade everywhere he puts it. Trying to keep it nice and flat across the skin. Alexander's O'Neill. Last finishing touches and he goes in now for number 3. Highway's got his 3rd on the board and round the crutch he swings. The boys and girls that were out crutching these sheep last week, or earlier in the week, took the bare minimum off. There's a lot goes into preparing sheep for the show. They got to visually look right, no lame ones, all going to have that even body cover of flesh. No raging horns, so they're all pretty much even lined. But then by golly, the shearers will find something wrong with them in the pen. Well, that's what the chief referee has to go and sort out, and maybe he says, yes, or no? Under the shoulder and down and out to the flank. Grant Smith finishing touches now. About to get number 4. Second heat of the semi-final. There's still Dennison, Fagan, White, Tahuya, Samuels and Stratford to come. And then we're on to the senior final. Over the shoulder, the last side for Angus Moore. Highway slipped another one down the chute. Carries the big sheep out. So here we are, watching these fine athletes here rip the shreds of wool off these sheep in great workmanlike fashion. Martini Mason rolls out that last leg, goes in for number 4. He's just back off the pace a little bit. Not too many of these wrinklies up in Masterton, but he's come across a few and he stays down south. Grant Smith still making a magnificent job and right on the pace. Chasing out after him is on stand number 3, Jake Ranguya. Over the last side, he's about to swing. Angus Moore. Round the back of the head, John O'Neill just in front of him. That's both physically and shearing wise. He's dropping into the off shoulder now. Giving the judge a fair old look at it, as Grant Smith says, oh, that's 4 done. He's evergreen and he's making everyone count as he strokes it down the belly. 1, 2, a bit of a hop and a skip in the middle of the belly. Leave that bit on. And down and out to the flank and cleans that out. Crutchbull tidied up. Change of gear now on the freestand. Fresh cut. Pulls his sheep out, does Jake. Says, let me at you, you big fella. Angus Moore tidies up on that front shoulder on the last side. Paiwai goes in. A lot of shots going in to get under that shoulder for Angus. Sheep's not quite laying right for him. Needs to bubble up a little bit, not bubble out. Out the last leg he comes. Mason still back with the last side to complete. On sheep number 4. Number 5 on the board for 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6. Oh, we've got some frisky ones out there. The pen staff out the back have gone to sleep a little bit. No, they've just woken up. There's one leapt over the rail. Down the last side comes Grant Smith. Let's go down the portal. Come on, Smithy. Keep it going, mate. They're coming, still chasing you. He said, catch me if you can, fellas. I want that $1,200. The first prize. $4,500 up for grabs in this event when we get to the final. As Matara on 3 comes under the shoulder. Jake still working hard. Rolls it out under the hock, one over the sock, down the hole. O'Neill's starting to whip it in now. He knows Grant Smith's almost half a sheep in front of him. Jake Rangier's got his sixth and final on the board. O'Neill got the number 6. Ringakaha Paiwai. Come on, man. Keep pumping. The last one coming out for Angus Moore as well. Martini Mason, just the final one to get sheep number 6 on the board, and that's about 20 shots away. Right. Under the shoulder for Smith. Martini Mason out the last leg, but still one in the box. Under the shoulder for Smith. Making it look easy. He says rubbish. I'm at full stretch. Hits the button, turns his plant off, then stands there and has a look around and says, well, I've got time for a breather now. Just as we head towards the next heat, there's still the 6th and final sheep to shear for the other 5 competitors. Those junior finalists are Mitchell Menzies, senior finalists, Mitchell Menzies, Kevin Bowden, Scott Cameron, Andrew Booth, Josh Quinn, and Adam Gordon. Now, when we get the next heat underway, we want you to come and draw for your stands. So that'll be the call. I'll give you a call. Menzies, Bowden, Cameron, Booth, Quinn, Gordon. You will draw for your stands when we start the next heat. So still work to be done here on stands 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Who's going to be? Looks like John O'Neill from Alexandra out the last leg. Oh, no, Jake, but Rangi from Matara got that job done. He snuck a couple of quick blows in that last leg. Well shorn, these shears. Angus Moore always has good quality. Finishing touches on that one. Ringa Paiwai's got his 6th and final down the chute. Over the shoulder and down at the flank. Come on, Martini, keep a pumping, man. Little bit of dust and grime on those front legs. The sheep's been sitting on them up on the high, the hard, and the hilly. Out the last leg. 2 shots to go. Down the hole. Awesome stuff. Heat number 2 out of the road. Following on, we will have Colin Dennis and Jack Fagan, Corey White, Stacey Tahuya, Leon Samuels, and Nathan Stratford. To the board, please, gentlemen. As soon as this heat's underway, we'll have those senior shearers come and make the draw for their final. My time, yeah. So the last 6 contestants a chance to make in the next round, the final round of this spring shear winter comb event, sponsored by Waimate Shearing and Waira Downs. Rabbit's had to go downtown to get some sugar, so he's unavailable to be called to the pen. So could we have the shearers on the board, please? You happy enough? Thank you, referee. Not. Yeah, nah. Back downtown, Rabbit. Peter. Robert. Down to 5. Come on out of there, fellas. You'll notice the fadgers here getting carried and dragged away across this nice shiny floor. They're going out at the back into the pressing room. Can't hear any muttering out there. The press must be going well. Righto, come on. That's enough. Let's have the shearers out. We're going to get the all clear. The green light. We have the green light. Thank you. We're off to go. Everybody happy? Timekeepers right. Judges, competitors, go. Righto, these fellas get started. We got Colin Dennison from Koorau up on the front stand. Jack Fagan from Tikawiti on 2, on 3. Corey White from Waimate on 4. Stacey Tahuya from Alexandra. Leon Samuels from Invercargill and Nathan Stratford from Invercargill. Could we have Mitchell Menzies, Kevin Bowden, Scott Cameron, Andrew Booth, Josh Quinn and Adam Gordon to the announcers table, please? The draw for your stands. Well, it won't matter. So for those 6 shearers, those 6 senior shearers, come up and see Warren White here at the announcers table up the front. They've got to turn a tab over here. They're just picking their stand for the senior shear final. Down here on the stand number 6, Nathan Stratford, high quality shearer. Top qualifier into this event with already have about 35 points. Absolutely marvellous. Around the belly, the offside of the backbone he goes and turns to the money side of the sheep. But the pace coming from Stacey Tahuya. Here we go. Leon Samuels from Invercargill on the 5. Down the last side he comes. He'll settle into his work. 6 of these monsters to shear. The Coorau Denison man gets a little bit of a wriggler on the last side. Readjusts his hand. Holding on to a little bit more flank. As Jack Fagan brings out sheep number 2. Corey White is Stacey Tahuya around the back of the head now. He's leading the field. Seem to be getting it easy. Makes it look easy. He's been shearing for a little while. He started when he was 8 or 9. So he's been at the game a couple of haircuts. Great tally man. Always willing to push the body to the limit. As he comes under the shoulder, a big stretch of that front leg just to take the loose skin away from the tips of the comb. We'll swing them around again, get them, shear them again. So we got the last side coming off for Leon Samuels. 1, 5, 3, 4, 6.
That's the one. That's the one.
Have to check with him when he comes back. Down the last side comes Corey White. But the pace still here with Stacey Tahuya. Rolling it up the Lomblay. Sheep number 3 on the board. He's really putting the acid on. Oh, the jolly gear. We get a bit of a kick from the sheep and his handpiece just dropped off. That's the safety situation coming in. Gone are the days when the old pin drive used to hang on and the handpiece would fly around the floor, run into your leg or your foot, and smash a comb up against the wall. We have a safety device in that ferrule now that releases the drive, and sometimes it just unclips itself halfway through a sheep. Upsets the rhythm a little bit, but he's got on with the job. Around the back of the head now, Jack Fagan from Tikawiti. Not too far behind him is Colin Denson. The Courier man, Corey White, working hard to stay with the pace. As Tahuya's got number 4 on the board. Leon Samuels, last side to complete on stand number 5. I don't know whether you people have noticed there's a nice flash Harry grey ute out the back there, nice and clean. Only about 3 weeks old. I've been driving around town in it the last 12 hours. It is up for sale. I'm afraid I can't keep the proceeds, but if you see the Isuzu ute outside, go and have a look. There's a book on the table out the back on the round tables. Study it up. I got some cards somewhere. I'll pop into the stadium later. Last side, working away across that brisket, front shoulder blade for Courier. Just down the road a few Ks, under the shoulder. He's got about 15 more shots before he gets this one completed here on the front stand. Another one on the board for Nathan Stratford. Sheep number 4. Stacey Tahuya out the last leg. Look at the powerful shoulders on this man. Originally from the north. Now from down here in the deep south. Alexandra in the cold, hard country. Hot as hell in the summer and as cold as buggery in the winter. Round the belly, the crutch. Oh, he's got a cunning plan on that sock. Just picked up that back off leg and cleaned up the sock. Tidied it up before he even attempted to go around the crutch. The undermine done. He's been thinking about this. How can I outfox these other competitors? Well, I shouldn't be telling them, I suppose. But he's stroking up the neck now. Big shots on the big red eye. Then goes Leon Samuels. Change the blade. He says, I'm over halfway through now. Let's get on with the job. Still got one in the pen. Jack Fagan comes across the shoulder. The winter comb is coming to the end for some of these guys. Maybe. We come in with 18 into the semi-final. We need to go down to 6. Somebody's going to have to miss out. Stratty goes in. Sheep number 5 for him. Jack Fagan changes steel. Number 5 on the board. Number 6 on the board for Tahuya. Leon Samuels. Almost half shorn, sheep 5. Light and fluffy this wool is, it doesn't drop off the comb and cutter too quick. Gets hooked up on your tension knob. Got to shake it loose so you can see what you're doing. Samuel's into the long blow now. Corey White coming across the shoulder. Fighting against the big boys here. Out with sheep number 6 on the front, is it? Sheep 5. Sheep 5 on the board for Colin Dennison. Jack Fagan up the neck on sheep 5. Stacey Tahuya got a sheep around him. He's on sheep number 6 around the back of the head. White goes in, the Waimate man in the middle. Still got one in the box, so he's a little bit off the pace. Stratty's starting to pump him in hard down there on stand number 6. It's not hard to get behind a whole sheep on these wrinkly old boys. Mixed age weathers. Leon Samuels out with his last. Out the last leg comes Stacey Tahuya. Stacey Tahuya completes the task. What a sheer. Hey, he says, I got one round you, Nate. Keep it going, buddy. Still in with a chance. We can only take 6 into the final. Out the last leg now for Colin Dennison, still well in the pit. Here they go. Number 6 on the board. Still Corey White with the 5. Needs to keep punching it on the young fella. Leon Samuels coming over the shoulder. Nathan Stratford. Crikey, how did I get this one, he's thinking. Oh, and he doesn't want to play the game either. A little bit of a rock and roll there from the old back legs. Corey White out the last leg. Working hard. Colin Dennison up over the undermine. 6th and final sheep for Jack Fagan as well. There goes Leon Samuels. Oh, yeah, that's all right, he says. Had a look at the judge's counter. He must have been keeping him pretty flat. Little bit of assistance there was a handpiece that was just about to disappear down the porthole. Got it saved. Jack Fagan rolls onto the last side now as Nathan Stratford still firing him in quick. Trying to cut that time deficit. Well, Sean, Nathan Stratford down on the 6. Jack Fagan coming to the top of the shoulder now on the last side. Colin Dennison down and out to the flank, down the last dewlap, we should say, over the neck as Fagan goes out the flank. Long blow going in from the middle of the back, right out that last leg. Hits the time button. Into the long blow goes Corey White. Not too many blows left in this semi-final. Sponsored by Waimate Shearing and Wairua Downs, along with Lister. There goes Colin Dennison finished. Leave it. Over the shoulder on the last side for Corey White. Working away. 4, 5, 6. He's counting them down. 7, 8, Yeah, that's about 10. Let it go. You've done enough. Give him a hand, ladies and gentlemen. Well done to Corey White and his fellow semi-finalists. Thank you, semi-finalists. Now we will move on to the senior final. The senior final is next up. And then just bear with us. We'll have that open final with us very shortly. The open finalists will be with us very shortly. Just advising our competitors in the two finals, we have to have a reduction in sheep numbers. The seniors will share 4 and the open will share 8. So we've dropped a couple of sheep off both those tallies. I'm sure you'll be muchly appreciated. We've just got to spread the sheep throughout the day. A number of competitors, of course, has kept us honest and busy. So we've just deducted a couple of sheep numbers there from both those finals. So just 2 more shearing events before we go into the afternoon program, and then the wool handling will take over. Once the wool handling is completed, the evening program will be the speed shears. So we have those senior shearers gathered on the side of the stage, please. Those senior finalists. Okay, could we welcome up to the board, please, from Seddon, Josh Quinn. Round of applause. On stand number 6. On stand number 5, from Ranfurly, Kevin Bowden. On the 4th stand, Andrew Booth from Waimate, the young fella. Scott Cameron from Alexandra on the 3. Mitchell Menzies from Ranfurly up on the 2 stand, and right at the front, Adam Gordon from Masterton. Now, gentlemen, you'll be shearing 6 of these merino weathers. Same rules apply for the sock rule, back socks. As I say, we've just had to revise our sheep numbers, so we're down to 4 in this event. So you have a spare one. You can shear it if you want to, but no, you cannot trial shear your spare sheep. You put it out the back. So our sponsors for this event, Kevin Butler Sheep Shearing and Scanning, along with Merton's Agri. We have a couple of raffles. I've just been informed by our honoured secretary, Eileen, is if you're down towards the back of the hall, there's some raffles going on, a handpiece, I believe, and some other goodies. So don't be afraid to part with a couple of lazy dollars and support this Waimate Spring Shear. And that includes all judges and wool handlers alike. Oh, we're looking pretty good up there, I think, guys, aren't we? One out, all out, I say. This side of the yellow paint, please. Shearers to the board. We will have those open finalists for you very shortly. And if you think you're in with a shot, get some gear on. We will call you for a draw. We got the all clear, not quite. Okay, we've got the shearer coming out of 2. Go on, Mitch. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the senior winter cone finalists. Timekeepers right. Judges, competitors, go. We're off in a racer. Very, very cautious start from some of these competitors. Others will go like the heck and see if they can spook the opposition. Down the belly, a little bit more poking and probing on these ones. These senior competitors. Same line of sheep as they had this morning. They've had a chance to reject one out of the pen. And so they've done their best. Sometimes it's hard to judge the book by its cover. But the more experienced and with the eye you are at the shearing game, you will have certainly found one that you didn't like the look of. So where's the early pace? Oh, could be the Waimate man in the middle. The experience of Andrew Booth. Up around the top knot. But I believe this young Gordon up here in front, he might just savour his little burst of speed till he gets further on in the sheep number. Down the far end, Josh Quinn from up there in Seddon. He's got shearing in his blood, this fella. Got all the bloodlines, but it's all about doing it for yourself up there now. You and that wild animal. They are not drugged or sedated in any way, these sheep. And I certainly hope the shearers aren't. Is the end of the long blow. Down on the 6. Scott Cameron from Alex on the stand 3 up the long blow as well. Andrew Booth, experienced shearer from Waimate. Can he show these young fellas what to do? We have those open finalists, and their names are Stacey Tahuia, top qualifier, Nathan Stratford, Grant Smith, Angus Moore, Jack Fagan, Ringakaha Paiwai. Could you come and draw your stands at the announcers table, please? Mr. Warren White will officiate. El Presidente. And you'll get some fresh singlets as well. So here we are, the shearing, the senior winter comb. Great. So here we are. Looking pretty sharp in their flash singlets, these guys covered in wool. Not the sheep, the shearers are. Look at that beautiful black singlet they're wearing. The MKM. Absolutely fabulous singlets. There they go, Josh. Quinn goes in. In goes Bowden there from the Lorraine Furley. It's good to see our supporters are getting in behind this crew. Under the shoulder and down out to the flank for Mitchell Menzies from Ranfurly. Adam Gordon. Oh, bit of a readjustment here on this last leg. This Wrinkly's not letting him play the game. But he's settled it down with the pop of the head out from in front of the kneecaps. Down the hole it goes. Never too far off the pace as he just casually moves into the pen. But he'll be all business once he picks up the bog iron and foots those half a dozen shots down the belly. Josh Quinn up over the top. He comes round the side of the cheek, cleans up around that horn, the ear, so he's actually hit the front. Punches up the neck. Scott Cameron right there, a young fella in the middle. A little bit smaller in stature, but still got the skills. Andrew Booth from Waimate, sheep number 2. Steps it forward now, sitting on its tailbone. Won't like that for too long. Up the neck he punches. Half a dozen shots and just holds the jaw slightly with his elbow and moves the wool with his hand just to hold that wrinkle out of the way. But the pace. A bit of a scrap going on and stands 3 and 6. You can't leave any shots in the draw this time. This is the final. You need to use all those good shots and go with the pace. Over the shoulder on the last side and stand number 6. Hold of the shoulder on stand 3. Gordon settled into this one a little bit better as he rocks up the long blow. Andrew Gordon from Waimate turns for home. See the concentration on his face. You've got to be thinking about this game all the time. Use your eyes to follow the handpiece. Otherwise, you'll lift it off the skin. Out the last leg now for Josh Quinn. 3 shots left in his sheep for Scott Cameron on the 3. Into the long blow goes Bowden, the Ranfurly character. Sheep number 3 coming out for stands 3 and 6. Gordon's got about 5 shots left in his second merino. Mitchell Menzies around the top on the last side. Sheep number 2. Things are starting to close up in the speed stakes here. Gordon brings out another one. The belly flicked out the back. On the 6 and on the 3. Last shoulder now. Mitchell Menzies from Ranfurly under the shoulder. Finishing touches down and out to the flank. He's about to swing. 10 shots left in this sheep for him. Bowden down on 5, under the shoulder and down to the flank. Josh Quinn's got a bit of a kicker here as he goes up the undermine. Gives somebody else a chance to get in front. Up comes Scott Cameron. Up comes Adam Gordon. And Mitchell for the 3rd one. Just check those cards. I think we're only on sheep number 3 on the front stand. Just check those cards. We're right there. We are on 4. No, we're not. Thank you. Change the cutter. Down on the 5. Get some new blade on. This Kevin Bowden in his streaks. Super fast cutter change. But here comes Scott Cameron now. Into the vest off shoulder. Josh King starting to push him in a little bit quicker. He's got a big sheep this time. Adam Gordon settled into the job now. He's still got one in the pen. Turns for home. He's come away now with the pace. Scott Cameron up over the long blow. Big long shots coming in from the middle of the loin, right up behind the ear. Got to try and hold that sheep hard and against his leg in this little bit of a protest from the big weather. Andrew Booth from Waimate, round the back of the head he swings. Was right on the pace early in sheep number 1, but it's dropped back off a little bit. Over the shoulder, come on, stand number 6. Josh Quinn. Out the last leg comes Adam Gordon. Over the last shoulder for Scott Cameron. But it's Adam Gordon, the master and man, going away. Still got one in the pen. Gordon reaches in now. Sheep number 4, the fourth and final. Josh Quinn out the last leg. Has he got enough strength left in to punch out this last one? Scott Cameron says, I'm going in. Fresh steel on for Quinn. I know now the pace is on. They got the last one on the board, still with Mitchell Menzies from Ramfurley. A little bit of work to do along with Andrew Booth. They're pretty much blow for blow, and Kevin Bowden there into the first off shoulder. Just got back off the pace a little bit. The sheep dictated how fast you can shear them. Mitchell Menzies out the last leg. But it's Adam Gordon up here on the front stand. Up over the top, he's gone. Blow for blow, stands 3 and 6. Scott Cameron and Josh Quinn. Who's got the best sheep held for last? Quinn's up the neck. Adam Gordon's punching up the neck as well. This one's starting to rock on him a little bit, but he settles it and goes again. Round the back comes Quinn. That's the back of the head I'm talking about. Swoops off the back of the ear. It's quite delicate, that process there. You need to be working hard with both your fingers and your knees and your elbows and your wrists. It's a hell of a place to shear a sheep when it's going wrong. And King Quinn's hit the front again. Into the long blow goes Adam Gordon. Into the long blow now for Scott Cameron. Bowden's out the last leg. He's still got one in the pen. But turning for home is Quinn down on 6. He's making every shot of winning one at the moment as he comes under the shoulder. Finishing shots to the long blow now for Scott Cameron. Here comes Adam Gordon, the master and lad. Hasn't given up just yet. Down and out to the flank, he's about to run, but Quinn's stroking down that last side. He must have kept the best sheep till last. Out the last leg with the quick shots now. He's doing it marvellously, and he's about to hit the button as Quinn down on stand number 6 all the way from 7. Out the last leg now comes Adam Gordon. Under the shoulder now comes Scott Cameron. Nothing in it, just a couple of wriggles of the sheep, and that's how it happens. Adam Gordon had a start, slow start, come again. Then just the sheep just give him a little bit of grief as he tries to complete the task. Out the last leg now for Scott Cameron as well. It'll be down to the quality. There's not much here in the time stakes at the moment. It'll be all about the finished product. It's under the shoulder and down and out to the flank. Comes Mitchell Menzies. These sheep are shearing extremely well. They'll be back out on the moss and the grass, the little grass, before they know it, in the sunshine this afternoon. Over the shoulder on the last side as Menzies drops that one down the porthole. Still working hard as Bowden from Ramfurley on the 5. Working across that first off shoulder. He's still pumping. He's enjoying the moment. Andrew Booth, the experienced competitor from the local man in Waimate. Under the shoulder and down and out to the flank. Getting every bit he can off the at $25 a kilo I'd be getting every bit of it too. Out the last leg. Come on, Andrew. Keep it going. Couple of shots. You're done. Kev Bowden come across the shoulder now. Still looks like he's enjoying the job. And so he come under the shoulder. Sheep's just not quite playing the game. This event sponsored by Kev Butler and Merton's Agri. The senior Wintercombe final. Over 4 sheep. And there we go. Kevin Bowden from Ramfurdy, last to complete the task. Give him a hand, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll just give us 5 minutes and we'll get the pens loaded, and then we'll invite our open competitors to be taking part in the open final, which is sponsored by Waimate Shearing and Wairua Downs, and along with Lister. They will be shearing 8 sheep. Test. So those open competitors, when you're available, could we have you to the side of the stage, please? Looks like we've got some victims up here on the side of the stage. Are they all there? Just missing a blackboard down the far end. Okay, looks like we're all gathered there, are we? Could you welcome onto the board for the open machine shearing of the winter shear, Ringakaha Paiwai on stand number 6, Oh, sorry, no, I'll get that right. It's Stacey Tahuya on stand number 6. Angus Moore from Seddon on stand at number 5. Jack Fagan from Tikawhiti on stand at number 4. Nathan Stratford from Invercargill on the 3 stand. Ringakaha Paiwai from Gore on 2. And right up the front, Grant Smith from Rakaya. Now, gentlemen, there are 7 sheep to be shorn. There's 2 in the pen to chuck out. You can chuck out 2 sheep in your pen. The resident pen staff will be available. Resident pen staff available. So these are the 6 worthy competitors who have qualified for this final. First prize of $1,200. Also the sashes for the first 6 place getters and special awards. They'll be judged fairly and evenly across, right across the line. We have 7 judges or 8 judges on the front. And also a set of judges down the bottom where the sheep are judged after they've had their wool clipped for any wool left on or any bruising on the skin. Top qualifier into this event was Stacey Tahuya. So we probably expect to be shearing these sheep in somewhere around about 12 minutes, maybe just a little bit less, depending on how things run for them. Okay, how are we doing, guys? A little bit of organisation that's very selective, these shearers that want to get their sheep shorn in the right order. They've got a special comb on for this one and that one. Still the same amount of teeth. Still all glossy on the back. Could we have you to the board, please, shearers? Referee all clear? Are we ready? Yeah, thank you. You happy enough? Not quite. Everybody seems to have one. We may as well have another one. Thank you. Okay. Good to go. Everybody's right. Timekeeper's right. Judges, competitors, go. Here we have the first of the open finals for this event, the Winter Shear. A little bit of an indication of how these sheep performed when the seniors were having a go just a few moments back. These guys have qualified through the elimination round 1, elimination round 2, and now they've got 7 of these monsters to shear in the final. Same sort of sheep they've been shearing all day. Just a little bit more pressure now when you're on the final, because this is where the big money's at stake. And the kudos for the big ribbon at the end of it. Look to be doing it pretty easy at the moment. Nathan Stratford, a couple of quick punches up the neck, moving towards the first shoulder. Had a reasonably slow shear in the elimination round 2, but he had the quality to make it. You cannot sacrifice the quality for the speed. It just doesn't work. So, these are the 6 best shearers for the winter cone. And right up here on the front stand, Grant Smith from Rakaya. Evergreen had a good shear early on. Looks to be having a good shear now. Rikikaha Paiwai from Gore on the 2. He was here bright and early this morning, packing a grind around just for a bit of weight training. On stand number 3, Nathan Stratford, Invercargill, down on the deep south. Jack Fagan from up the King Country. Got second sheep on the board now and down the belly, so he's right on the pace today. Angus Moore, a confident, fine wool shearer. Getting it all off there. That's the wool I'm talking about. Coming off out under the hock, one over the tail, and down the hole the sheep goes. Stacey Tahuya set the pace in the elimination rounds. A little bit more tension required, he says, just a wee touch. Feel that cutter not quite honing in properly. Big strokes up over the tail. As these Merinos will test you to the limit if you give them half a chance. They're all pretty close. You can just about put a blanket over every player here. Second sheep, and they're all going up the neck. Moving around is the Grant Smith. Been there, done that, he says. I've made another final. My training's paying off. Can he hang in there for the long haul? Sheep number 7. Stacey Tahuya starting to show a little bit of form now as he turns onto the last side. Nathan Stratford's working hard along with Ringer Paiwai over the last shoulder. Sheep number 2. Quicken the hands up. Stratty's under the shoulder, leading the way. Over the shoulder on the last side comes Jack Fagan. Big, strong shoulders of Stacey Tahuya. Blasting out that last side on stand 6. Oh, Stratty just about mounts the door as he goes in. He can't afford to lose any more weight, that fella. He's skinny enough now. Just about sneaks through the gap with the latches. In goes Grant Smith. Couple of deep breaths. Fills up the oxygen tank. Gets the brain working. Angus Moore's got a bit of work to do in sheep number 2. Turning onto the last side. Here they go. Fagan down the belly. First off leg for Paiwai and Stratford. Crutch done and been here down the off leg now for Grant Smith. Stacey Tahuya working hard on stand number 6. First off leg. Stratty's out in front. By crikey. He's got the bit between his teeth. Invercargill. Can they come to the fore with a win this time? He's been there, done that. A time or two before. Tahuya up the neck and around the back of the head now. Starting to make the move perhaps. Is the sheep going to settle for him and just let him flow? Into the long blow he starts to wind. Stratty's dropping down to the long blow. Fagan's up the neck. Grant Smith's into the long blow. Here comes Rigakaha Paiwai. Turning onto the last side. Tahuya's hit the front now. Over the last shoulder, things can change very quickly in this game. Shearing these wrinklies. Grant Smith to the top of the shoulder. Paiwai to the top of the shoulder. Stratford to the top of the shoulder. Under the shoulder for Tahuya down the far side. Look at him go. Working out that last leg. Grant Smith has not given up on you yet. Either end of the board, they're battling it out for the pace. Rigakaha Paiwai under the hock, over the tail, down the hole. In goes Tahuya, in goes Smith. Paiwai's right there as well. Here comes Stratford, working away. Needs to keep hammer down. He knows that it could cost him 5 or 6 shots if he staggers into the pen this time round. Down the hole it goes. Concentration, watching where he steps and he puts his handpiece down. Out the last leg comes Fagan, wearing those nice woolen singlets from MKM. Great stuff. Into the long blow, off the long blow on the last side for Angus Moore. Stroking it off. Left hand working feverishly, keeping out of the way of that big wide winter comb. Down the last side, he's about to swing. But who's out in front? Looks like it could be Tahuya this time. Got away from Grant Smith by a couple of shots. Paiwai's going up the neck. Here comes Stratty up the neck as well. Moore into the pen for number what? Number 3, is it? Just check those cards. Sheep number 4 coming across for Stacey Tahuya down on stand 6. Grant Smith's on the last side on sheep number 4. They've all got 4 on the board. Over the shoulder with the Grant Smith. He's got his head beat down a bit. Stacey Tahuya stands upright and down and out they work together on the last side. Paiwai's starting to shake his head a little bit. Things are starting to work against him. He needs to keep it going. Stratty's out after him. Stratty's picked up the pace again. Down the portal goes Stacey Tahuya. That's the sheep he just saw I'm talking about. Out the last leg comes Smith. Under the shoulder comes the Stratman. Oh, sheep number 5 coming out. Down the belly. Blow for blow with Smith and Stacey Tahuya pretty much. Blow for blow on 2 and 3 as well. Jack Fagan to the top of the last side. Into the long blow goes Angus Moore. Has he saved a couple of good ones for last? He's starting to wind into it now, the man from Seddon. Fagan over the shoulder on the last side. Got away to a good start. Needs to keep the hammer working. Put the jackhammer on, Jack, and go hard down under the shoulder and out the flank. Yeah, but it's Tahuya. Up the neck he swings. Working hard as Grant Smith to hang on to his coattail now. Stacey looks like he could have a big one down there around the back of the head. Larger sheep, and Grant Smith maybe just works up the neck, one a little bit flatter perhaps. Can't quite see into the wrinkles yet, but Jack Fagan goes in. Sheep number 5, sorry. Angus Moore's picked up his coattails and changed the blade. So there's 3/4 of a sheep between first and last at the moment. But Tahuya still strong down there on stand number 6. He's got a sheep well under control. Got away from Grant Smith this time. Paiwai still chasing ahead. Hard there on the heels of Nathan Stratford. A battle living it out in 2 and 3. But Tahuya, check those cards down there on stand number 6. Doesn't look good to me. I reckon he's on sheep number 6. Let's see how it goes. It looks a little bit better. One more maybe. Out the last leg. Now comes Smith on the front. 2, 3 to go. Over the top. Now comes Paiwai. Over the top comes Stratman. Into the shoulder, the front shoulder, Jack Fagan. Angus Moore's. That fresh blade of his is starting to work for him, and he goes down into the offside now. Swings away from the crowd. Quite a difficult part. He's short, it just simple and easy. Fagan just trails the field. Paiwai drops one down the chute. Stratman out the last leg, down the chute for him. To the top of the shoulder now comes the Angus Moore. Over the shoulder. Fagan dropping into the off shoulder. This one's not quite flowing for him, and he needs to keep working hard as Smith comes up over the top. Tahuya turns for home. One more in the grading for him. Over the shoulder on the money side of the sheep. Paiwai's punching hard into the offside. Look at him go up the couple of big shots up the undermine. Stratty's just 3 or 4 blows behind him. Moore's working hard, but it's going to be Tahuya down the far end. He's got half a sheep on Grant Smith at the moment. He steps into the pen, making it look easy. The big fella from Alexandra. Down the belly he goes. Has he got the wherewithal today to put his name on the cup? Who knows? Angus Moore round the back of the head. He's about to swing. Into the long blow now comes Nathan Stratford. Jack Fagan goes in for sheep number what? Sheep number 6. Just on slide down the porthole, that one. Up, whoopsie daisy and away down the chute for a joyous ride. Round the back of the head. Now comes Angus Moore on the 5. But Grant Smith's going to be next to get his 7th and final sheep on the board. Tahuya says goodbye, I'm gone. Out to lunch, he says. Up the neck. It's a beautiful big weather. He's plowing the wool off at the moment. Look at him go. Just rolls it into the long blow. Like poetry in motion. Swings it up the long blow. Big shots right from the middle of the loin. Right up behind the ear. All the way, switching over to that last side now. He's hanging in there. Grant Smith got 7 on the board. Who's going to be next? Is it going to be? No, it's going to be Rigger Paiwai. He goes in for 7. Oh, got a bit of a crook shoulder. Stratty goes in. Angus Moore's picked them up. He's working hard. Who's got the best quality here today, ladies and gentlemen? We'll find out very shortly because Stacey Tahuya is going to win this one in the speed section. There he goes, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause for Stacey Tahuya, the Open Wintercombe Speedster. That's how well he's made it easy. Not sure of the time, but with the good shear. There's still a battle going on for the placings and the rest of the speed of it. But it'll be the quality in the end. That comes down to the quality in the end. It always does. As we drop it into the long blow for Jack Fagan. He's still got one in the pen. He swings it hard. Angus Moore's got his 7th and final one on the board. Grant Smith's hit the last side. Stratty's up the neck on sheep 7. Ringa Kahapaiwai's just into the long blow now on the 2 stand. But it's going to be Grant Smith as it coming off the front shoulder. The very experienced evergreen Grant Smith comes down that last side, pops the head through. A little bit of settling now to get that last leg off. Jack Fagan still got a bit of work to do. Still got one in the box. There goes Grant Smith. He says, crikey, I thought I had Stacey Tahuia settled, but I had to come off second in this one. Well, Sean Grant Smith. Still a little bit of work to go for Stratty, but it's Ringa Paiwai. Big reach for just a bit of a waiver as it goes down the chute. Angus Moore next in line. Here comes Nathan Stratford. Shake, rattle and roll. Had the early pace. Just got a couple of difficult ones, and it can ruin your best day out for sure. Jack Fagan puts the finishing touches to that crutch. Down the off leg, he's about to swing. The undermine coming up for him. Still shearing very fast. He'd be cleaning me out if I was up there trying to have a go. Over the top he comes. This is the last event on the card before our lunch break, ladies and gentlemen, and then we'll start with some wool handling. So up the neck comes Jack Fagan. Travel all the way from the Tigawiti. Good to see them down here. Not many shows in the North Island in the last 12 months, but it's all go again. Thanks to some sterling effort from some great committees. A little bit of dice for this one. He just won't quite lay out the very difficult part of the sheep. Just that offside front shoulder. Into the long blow he goes. Still getting that watchful eye of the judge. Taken over. Swings. Sweet nothings in the air of that old weather. I think not. We talk about the butcher knife. He might lay claim to being on the barbecue a bit later this arvo. But the expertise of these shearers is something to be amazed at. Keep your cool. If you get flustered, the sheep's going to get flustered. You can see that sheep's just a little bit matted. It takes a little bit of punching off underneath that one. Or would you say very finely knitted? An absolutely incredible job how that sheep has knitted that wool so cleverly together. It's taken a couple of minutes to get it off. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our open shearers. Well done, Jack Fagan and his counters. So as they stride off to the changing shed, those shearers, it is probably about time now for our shearing judges to take a wee break, and we'll move over towards the wool handling for this afternoon. We'll be in charge, I'm not sure who's in charge, Tia, Monica or Joel. Whole three. You get the whole caboodle. So I'll sign off for now, and we'll come back to you as soon as we are ready to start the wool handling. So enjoy a bit of lunch and a bit of sunshine and the rest of the day. We've got the speed shear tonight. Oh, well, hang on. I've got to stop talking, then start again. We've got to do the prize giving. 5 minutes. Prize giving 5 minutes for both events today.